Assalamualaikum and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For decades, China was known as the world's most popular nation, a country defined by large families, strong traditional values, and rapid population growth. For generations, having more children was seen not only as a cultural norm, but also a source of security, labor, and family continuity. However, that image is now changing. China is currently facing significant demographic shifts after years of declining birth rates and longer life expectancy. The country is transitioning from a youthful population to an aging society. Recent data shows that fewer young people are choosing to have children, while the elderly population continues to grow at a rapid pace. This shift is not happening by chance. Factors such as rising living costs, intense academic and work pressure, urban lifestyles, and changing attitudes towards marriage and parenthood have reshaped how younger generations view family life. Even the government's earlier one-child policy, though no longer in effect, has left a lasting impact on population trends. Today, this aging population presents new challenges from workforce shortages to increased pressure on healthcare and social support system. To understand how this demographic transition is affecting everyday life in China, we now turn to our reporter on the ground.
Hello everyone, I'm Liu Tianhao. To understand the numbers, we first have to look at the reality facing young people today. It is not just about a lack of interest in having children. It's a pragmatic response to high living costs, especially housing in Tier 1 cities, and intense career pressures. Traditional family values are shifting. We see more young couples delaying marriage or choosing the dink lifestyle, double income, no kids to prioritize their independence. Combine this with the legacy of past population policies, and you get a perfect storm. A shrinking base of young people trying to support a rapidly expanding elderly population. Economically, the impact is undeniable. We are moving from a demographic dividend to a demographic deficit. The workforce is shrinking, which drives up labor costs and puts immense strain to our pension and healthcare systems. The silver wave isn't just coming, it is already here. However, the government is responding actively with financial incentives and new elderly care models. Ultimately, this isn't just a crisis. It is a signal of social transformation. How China adapts to this new reality will define our future for the next 30 years.
Hello everyone, I'm Sun Yueqi, a sociology reporter. When we talk about aging in China, one key number is important. 67% of people living in cities now. This change influences how cities and the village grow and makes aging worse in village because young people live there. Let's look at the city first. Cities has more jobs, better than public research, and more chance to develop. So many young people from village come here. They arrive, keep cities busy, and is aging pressure little, but villages are very different. When young people leave, villages become empty. Most old people and children stay. Aging is much worse in villages than in cities. Many villages have over 30% old people. These left behind the old people face problems like not enough hospital or care service. For example, they can get quick medicine help when sick, and how to look after themselves or ask neighbors for help. In short, 67% the urbanization makes aging more serious in villages than in cities. This affects both the old people live in village and village development. Next, our on-site reporter will show us real way to solve these problems.
Hi, my name is Fan Shurui. I am the on-site journalist. We have just heard from Liu Tianhao and Sun Yueqi about serious challenges of a shrinking workforce and growing healthcare needs in China. So for my part, I'll be showing you some examples of how China is actively trying to deal with these issues. First, let's look at an example of how to address the increased healthcare needs and social welfare pressure. We are seeing a nationwide pivot to community-based elder care. This is a practical model designed to help seniors age in place, rather than in distant institutions. What does this actually look like? In many urban neighborhoods, this means seniors clinics are being established, offering affordable hot meals for the elderly. It also means small-scale daycare centers are opening, where seniors can socialize, practice calligraphy, or receive basic health checks. This model directly eases the burden on hospitals and on adult children who need to work. Second, an example of tackling the labor shortages that Liu Tianhao mentioned. The response here is technology. A clear example is the rapid rise of automation and the manufacturing. If you visit a factory in the Pearl River Delta or Yangtze River Delta today, you will see industrial robots are no longer a luxury. They are a necessity. They are taking over the precise, repetitive tasks that were once done by a younger workforce that is now shrinking. This is a direct example of adapting the economy to a new demographic reality. Third, an example of handling the rising pension cost and the overall economy challenge. Instead of viewing the elderly population only as a cost, China is actively developing the silver economy. This is an example of creating a new market. We now see a boom in industries designing products specifically for seniors. From wearable devices that monitor health to specialized tourism packages. Furthermore, universities for the elderly are expanding, offering classes in everything from smartphone photography to piano. It reframes seniors as active consumers and lifelong learners, turning a demographic challenge into an economic opportunity. These examples, community care, factory robots, and the silver economy, show the real-world responses already on the way. They form the foundation for the future solutions and the suggestions we will discuss next.
Hello everyone, I'm Zhang Zhanbo. Our topic is dealing with China's aging population. This is a global issue, but it is happening faster in China than anywhere else. We are becoming a super-aged society much quicker than countries like Japan or the UK did. Just look at the numbers. We will have 300 million people over the age of 60. That is nearly the same as the total population of the United States. The main problem is the famous 4-to-1 family structure. This means a single child often has to support 2 parents and 4 grandparents. It puts huge pressure on families who used to do all the caretaking. Also, as fewer young people are working, the government pension system is facing a big test. But the government has a new plan. They are not just seeing this as a problem anymore. Instead, they are calling it the rise of the silver economy. They want private companies to step in and use technology to fill the gap. Let's watch this video. China is aging faster than almost any other country. This is a big challenge. We need to take care of millions of seniors, but we don't have enough young workers to do the job. So how do we solve this? The answer is technology. We call this the silver economy. It is using smart tools to help old people live better lives. First, let's look at the home. Most elderly people want to live in their own houses, not in nursing homes. To keep them safe, we use smart devices. Look at the smart watches and the room sensors. They check the sensor's heart rate and sleep all day and night. If a grandpa or grandma falls down, the device knows it immediately. It sends a message to their family and the doctor. It is like having a guard watching over there 24 hours a day. Next, look at the nursing homes. Because it is hard to find enough nurses, robots are stepping in to help. You can see robots delivering food and medicine to different rooms. This saves a lot of time for human staff. There are also special machines that help people walk again after they get sick. These machines make physical exercise easier and safer. So this is the future of aging in China. It is not just about machines replacing people. It is about using technology to make life easier. With these tools, seniors can live with dignity and safety for a longer time. So the story is changing. This silver economy will be worth trillions, creating new jobs in tech and healthcare. By using AI and robots, China is trying to skip the old way of care that relies too much on human labor. Of course, there are still problems. We need to worry about the digital divide. We must make sure seniors in rural areas can afford these tools, not just the wealthy people in big cities. But the goal is clear. If China can successfully mix government policy with new technology, it could become a model for other developing nations. It is a big test, but one that China is determined to pass.